It's the weekend. It's Mailbag. My two little birdies this week are Peter and Paul. Sorry. Terrible. As ever, sorry, what a terrible start to the show. As ever, we will just get straight into it. So we'll go with the hot topic. Loads of answers in for this. I've been watching hat-tricks all morning. Some absolute gems. What's the best hat-trick you've ever seen? Paul, go ahead.
Do you know what? There's quite a few answers to this. My favourite hat-trick that I've witnessed, hands down, Yakubu against SK Brand. Just for the second goal alone, the way he goes to shoot and just sends two SK Brand defenders for a pint of milk in the Echo and just slots. I think Yakubu did that most of the season. I remember he scored a hat-trick against Fulham in the same season, like similar goals.
He scored the same goal, didn't he?
So I'd say Yakubu, I'd say Yak purely for like the quality. It was just so nonchalant in his finishing. The hat-trick that I loathed entirely, but now I'm like a 34-year-old man, I can look back on and go, that's quite decent. Wayne Rooney against Fenerbahce on his debut.
Oh, yeah.
In the Champions League. Because I think, I know we sold him, hated him, absolutely hated him at that point. But the fact that he made his debut in the Champions League and he scored an hat-trick, you look back and you go, fair enough. He was really, really good.
Yeah.
But I'm the same on that.
It couldn't have been any worse for us, that could it? It was like he's gone there to play Champions League football and all that kind of stuff. We're still hurting, and then he does that. So, but yeah, you're right. It was a cracking hat trick. Was the first one a free kick?
Yeah. I remember. I remember watching a Champions League game on the couch with my brother and my dad. Might have been Celtic or Barcelona, one of the two, and it just kept on cropping up to the Man U game and showing his goals. As they go in. And the three of us just sat on the couch fuming, properly bubbling. But again, it was just a bit one-off, wasn't he? He was such a great player.
Yeah, this was obviously back in the days when people watched the Champions League. Has anyone watched a minute of this season? Can't be arsed with it at all.
Do you know what? Honestly, other than Villa and Bayern the other day, I don't watch it. I don't understand the new format. But even before that, it just got too boring. Same teams all the time.
Yeah, crap. That's why I don't want any part in it. Just give me that sweet conference football. That'll do for me. Yeah. Pete?
Proper European football, that Conference League.
Yeah.
Get me back in that. Okay. Get me to the arse end of Eastern Europe. Any day of the week.
Too much to ask. Come on.
Over the Bernabeu. Who wants to go there? The Champions League for losers. Yeah. My favourite hat-trick. I mean, you've got to give a mention to Duncan Ferguson against Bolton, because obviously Big Dunk was my hero. But I've got to have a big shout out for Steve Watson against it was against Leeds, wasn't it?
Leeds, yeah.
Yeah. Now Steve Watson, if you remember, we tried him up front and he didn't score when he played up front. But then that day he played I think he was playing on the right wing or somewhere, not a right back. And I think it was his third one, wasn't it? No, sorry, his second one where he lobbed the keeper. And then the third one, he slammed it in at the back post, didn't he? And he was just absolutely brilliant that day. Couldn't believe it. But when you actually look back at the goals, they were really good goals. It wasn't just like little tap-ins. He was, fantastic goals. And I think, as I say, there's one in particular where the keeper came out, and it was like Rooney's hat-trick goal against West Ham for us, where the keeper comes out and sort of, goes to clear it, and it just drops to Steve Watson, and he hits it in from about 40 yards. So, yeah, Steve Watson, definitely up there for me.
Yeah, weirdly, that never got a mention in the replies, because that was one that stuck out to me. Liam said Rivaldo v Valencia in 0-1 to get Barca into the Champions League. Insane stuff. I watched that back this morning. The first one's a direct free kick. The second one's a low shot, which is going in one corner, then swerves and sort of goes in the other one to beat the keeper. And the third one's an overhead kick, and they're all
the overhead kick. Wow, I remember that. Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Unbelievable play, Rivaldo.
Yeah. Oh, unreal. Gary said yak trick. V4. Perfect. This is the one you mentioned, Paul. Perfect hat-trick containing 2 goals where he didn't have to move, and one which required skill and effort, which is where he sends the Fulham player for a pint of milk. It felt filled with his football and personality. He will have loved the first 2 the most. Like the first one, I think he just sticks his leg out He doesn't even have a shot. It just sort of comes from him. He just sticks his leg out and it hits his leg and goes in. He was so good. Duncan's hat-trick of headers is up there too. D said Duncan Ferguson v Bolton in 97. All headers, very unusual occurrence. 2 assists from Tony Thomas, the tank engine as well, which is an even rarer occurrence in that one. Sam said Naismith. Dan said Naismith. Perfect hat-trick was ace. Brilliant.
Coming off the bench and scoring a perfect hat-trick, though.
That's not bad, is it?
It's not bad, that. Lovely stuff.
He did.
Just before we came on, me and Pete were speaking, and we're like, can you remember who we came on for? It was someone dead important, and I'd completely forgotten. Paul, do you remember who we came on for?
I can't remember who we came on for, but it's when he said coming off the bench. I completely forgot. He didn't start that game. Who did he come on for?
So me and Pete thought it was someone like Yakubu or like someone really key to the team. It was Mohamed Bezic. Which makes you think, what the hell was he doing starting on the bench with Mohamed Bezic ahead of him? It was classic Martins. Wow. Honestly.
But saying that though, lads, positive substitution has changed the game. Fancy that.
I know.
It's a bold move, that, isn't it? That you instantly get a positive reaction to the substitute because your start 11 was so bad. Lull them into a false sense of security.
Maybe that's something they should do now. Just put out the shittest first 11 you can, make subs after half an hour and go, yeah, I see. Hey?
Yeah.
Some more hat-tricks formed with Blue Kanchelskis away at Chef Wed. That was just distilled Kanchelskis, that. Unreal. Yeah. Nothing but the best AFC, best treble, big Dunky Bolton. Greeley said Tino Asprilla v Barcelona, stuck in the memory for some reason. TWS said can't decide between Cotty v Sheffield United, which I think he said was his first game. That was the opening, I think it was the second week of the season, maybe, or the third. I think we went top after that game. We were 2-1 up with about 2 minutes to go, and then Cotty got 2 goals. I think we went top, and then Liverpool beat Swift the next day. They went top, and we plummeted. Lovely. That was the season Mike Walker came in as well. Great stuff. Or Kone v Sunderland. What a shout.
Oh, God, yeah.
For his tractor celebration. Remember that?
The one with Ron.
When he was driving the tractor. Or Naismith v Chelsea, for those seen live. And that made me think of Lukaku's against Southampton too, with Kone's cross for the header in the green superhero kit.
Do you remember, did Louis Saha scored 4 in a game, didn't he? Was that against Blackpool? Possibly.
Blackpool, yeah.
Remember that one? That was a good one.
Yeah.
So, like, going off other teams as well, something just popped in my head. Do you remember when Clint Dempsey scored a hat-trick against Juventus for Fulham?
Oh, yeah. In
that, yeah.
Second,
and they were belter goals as well. They were brilliant goals.
Didn't you go 1-0 down in that game as well for them?
Yeah. But then they just... Did they beat them like 4-1 or something mad?
Yeah. On the night.
Battered them, yeah. But Clint Dempsey, I remember, like, one of them was like a chip where it sort of came back to him and he lobbed it over. It was just an absolute peach of a goal, like. I'm sure that was that. Yeah.
TWS said finally, best hat-trick ever is this, though. It was a cricket one. I have no idea. I'm sure it was great, though. Liam has asked. Hold on, let me change the ticker. Liam has asked, given the rumours today or yesterday, could the end of a Jose Everton tenure scale a height of toxicity even the Park End could only dream of? I mean, for me, getting Mourinho win is the absolute dream because it'd just be chaotic, but brilliantly chaotic. I think just seeing him manage Everton at Anfield would be a delight.
It'd be nuclear, wouldn't it?
It would.
It's got the potential to be very good and it actually working because he's capable. But if it goes wrong, I think you'd actually see deaths like around the ground, just full on death, carnage, devastation. You wouldn't need a demolition team to get rid of Goodison either, because like I think it'd just be like a siege of Rome, it'd just be Goodison burned to a crisp. Like, it would be utter carnage. Yeah.
It would. I think if he took us into our first season at the new ground that it went wrong, it would sink the ground into the dock, wouldn't it? Definitely.
Do you know what though? It'd just be a shame though that he came too late, because him against Klopp would have been brilliant. Like you're talking about a Merseyside derby. Like if Klopp was still there, that would have been something else, wouldn't it? Just having visions now. Bring him in. Just get him in. I always feel like he could be the ultimate Everton shithouse manager. But like you say, like if it went right and we sort of got on board with him, we'd absolutely love him. But like you say, he only ever lasts like 2 or 3 years, doesn't he? And in the third year, he always drops off and starts mouthing off. So I think that point would be like, oh, hello.
I mean, to keep a manager for 3 years, that would be something, wouldn't it?
It would, to be fair. If you like, yeah.
There's just like
get us a nice little League Cup win.
There's an order about him, isn't there? Like I could see him literally like rocking up at Goodison, like finishing like 10th, 12th, 14th with a League Cup, and then on his way. Like that'd be about right. But do you know what? Given the last few years, that'd be a dream.
Yeah, take that all day.
Absolutely.
All day. Is Tottenham the only team he's managed and not won something with?
Yeah, but they sacked him the night before the cup final, didn't he?
Yeah, they did.
Why was it?
Because he had a bonus for winning the cup. So they did, and what they didn't want him to have his name next to the cup if they won it. Because was it against Man United or someone, or was it?
Man United.
Yeah, and it was like, but they literally sacked him the night, like 2 nights before the cup final, and he was fuming about it because he was saying, "Well, I've got you to the final. Surely you let me like finish." But yeah. But again, I think it was to do with it was to do with a bonus, a win bonus if they won a cup. So he just sacked him 2 days before the cup. No one knew we were going to sack him anyway.
That's a very Everton thing to do as well, isn't it?
And then go on to lose the final.
Didn't we keep Thomas Mara on the bench for like about 3 seasons? Because we had to pay Viking Stavingard a bonus if he played 1 more hour of football or something.
Slaven Bilic too. Do you remember Bilic? He was like, we kept saying he was injured, but then every time there was an international break, he'd start for Croatia. And then we realised it was because if he played like 1 more game, we had to give West Ham 2 million.
What a club, honestly. Just okay then. So looking ahead to next season, Dice has kept us up this season. It's fine. We just like the season's been all right, nothing spectacular. He leaves, we shake hands, we say to her, that was sound. Thanks for doing that. Who would you like ideally and realistically like to get in for next season?
Who are we gonna get?
Who are we gonna get?
Do you know what? I've heard Mose over the last few years talking about this, and this is even when Dice first came in. He was talking about it, and he always spoke about he understands the need for Dice now, but long term, you want to be getting a lot more value for money. Particularly the prices we're probably going to end up paying to go to Branley-Moore. Yeah, I'm at a point now where I've actually even despite all like the bad results the last few weeks, where I'm frustrated with Dice, like yourself, where I was like, and annoyed at some of the decisions he makes. But I'm not like, get rid of him, sack him. Like, I still think he'll keep Everton up. But I think at the end of the season, I just like a new approach, a new change. I just want to see like nice football again. But I realise like you need like a competent, confident group of players to like buy in. I just want to see decent football and enjoy going the match again rather than having that constant dread. It's like, I don't know what names, like, but I know like Potter's name gets mentioned a lot. Like someone like him, I'm not saying him, but someone like him who can promote like a positive attacking style of play. Like Thomas Frank would be great if you get him from Brentford, but how likely that is, I don't know.
I think Lee Carsley would be a nice one as well.
Carsley, yeah.
It'd be a gamble, obviously, but I think that would be a good shout.
I think he would be a good manager.
I'm going to the major extreme here. my prediction is that Carlo Ancelotti leaves Real Madrid and he fulfills his promise to take us to the new stadium. He just missed out the part where he'd go to Real Madrid and win the Champions League like 3 times before he did it. Because I think
got a little bit of business to take care of, but I'm back now.
Yeah, just going to go and win the Champions League and then I'll be back. Carlo to come back and take us to the next level. That'd be my dream scenario. But it's very unlikely. But Thomas Frank, like you say, again, it's unlikely because I think he's probably, he's very happy at Brentford. Brentford are very happy with him. But I do rate him, and I think he comes across a really decent fella as well. I think Graham Potter, though, I've always said this about Potter, his head fell off when Brighton booed him once. He'd last the week at Everton. He's just got this. He just couldn't handle the pressure, I don't think. But again, I think you've got to be a very brave manager as well to come into Everton at that stage. If Dyche were to leave in the summer, and bear in mind, with all respect to Dyche for keeping us up, but if we did want to go for a new direction, there's a lot of pressure on the new manager who comes in because obviously we're not. It would take a massive overhaul of the squad to really get us competing. You still got the financial restraints, even with the new ownership because of PSI. You still got those financial restraints. So, and moving into the new stadium and everything that goes along with that, I think there's a lot of pressure on whoever comes in. So, bring me Ancelotti.
I think of the managers that are free, I think this is a bit of a wild one as well, but I think Thomas Tuchel, the third time of asking for me. He looks like a seat sniffer, but he's a good manager. I think he'd be good.
Anyone but Rangnick.
What's that?
Anyone but Ralph Rangnick. Keep him away from Everton, the deviants.
Yeah, no chance.
Deviants.
Moving on to something completely different, the Denby have asked, and I think this is because they are doing their own version of this game show. Who would be the best known thrower out of the current squad to go on Bullseye? What a question.
Bullseye.
I've got my thrower.
Michael Keane. Because it's all about attacking, isn't it? He can shoot, and he's tall. He's sort of, I think Keane would be all right.
Yeah, I can see him having a good darts technique as well, just by the way he sort of holds himself dead straight. And I was thinking Dwight McNeil.
Yeah, Dwight. Yeah.
James Garner. I think he's got the poise and the focus. Yeah, but I think McNeil probably I'll go with as well.
This is the harder part then. Who's going to do the answering the questions?
Oh, God.
The squad doesn't appear to be blessed by much brains, does it?
So I'll go with Tim Abunam. I like the fact he taught himself like sign language. Like seeing that interview the other week, I thought that was spot on. Like, so the lad's obviously got a bit of intelligence about him. Go with Tim.
Yeah, I'm in there. I genuinely can't think of anyone else. So yeah, I mean, you could just go the big gamble and go Tarkovsky or Pickford for that and just see what happens. You're not going to win much money though, are you?
The
thing is though, on Bullseye though, the questions were also random. So you wouldn't do it. But then thinking about it, they were really hard questions, weren't they? They weren't just like your normal pub quiz questions. And then you always won the speedboat was always the prize, wasn't it? Here's a question as well. Who would crash the speedboat?
Michael Caine.
Michael Caine, yeah. He'd win the speedboat, then crash it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Warren, you can make one. Can you make one technological prediction that will occur in the next 30 years?
I mean, you could probably say it's happened right now, but I think you'll have your first AI prime minister or president of a country. I think Starmer's already beaten us all to the punch. I think he's there now. Genetic in him.
Him and Reeves, both of them.
Robots, aren't they?
Full on AI bots.
Yeah. No soul, nothing.
No. I'm hoping there'll be no sea-proof submarines for billionaires. hope that technology never improves. The sea is the rightful place for all billionaires, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is. It claims them.
That's how far Mashiri's going to leave, by the way. He's going to set off the Bramley Moor in a sub and no one sees him again, literally.
Ocean Gate's the only place that's got worse subs than Sean Dyche. I was thinking as well, a USB port that you can like plug in first time every time, but they've kind of done that already with USB-C, haven't they? So that's already been done.
I think you said before we came on as well about battery life for a phone.
Oh yeah,
a phone battery. But they're going to get worse. But then you'll have the option to actually have one that lasts for 24 hours. But yeah, I'm thinking flying cars. I still hold out hope for flying cars. The day that we reached 2015 and we didn't have flying cars, and I realised that Back to the Future was a lie. That Back to the Future 2 was a lie. It broke my heart, I'll be honest with you. So I'm still holding out hope for a flying DeLorean at some point in my lifetime.
Was Back to the Future 2016 the year, was it? Or
2015. 15. It was all fives, wasn't it? So it was 55, 85, then 2015. Yeah.
So yeah, it will be someone in Saudi Arabia will get a flying car. The police, the Saudi Arabian police will have flying cars.
No, that's
do you know what those?
Or is it Dubai knock around in Lamborghinis? The police.
I think I've seen that in Dubai. Like,
there's a Bugatti, isn't there? There's a Bugatti police car, like one of them Bugatti Veyrons, which is like £1 million car, and it's a police car.
How are you signing that off? Like, go ahead.
I mean, no one's committing crime there, are they?
It was such a shock when the chief of police was arrested for criminal activity. No one saw it coming.
It's flying cars is a shout, like, and it will be some Emirate country that does it. Yeah, it'll be the neon police.
You know what? I just love it. I just love a reboot of Robot Wars. I'll take that within the next 30 years.
Yeah,
a proper reboot of Robot Wars. Just get rid of
with life-size robots.
Yeah, like and
life-size robots. Robot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know what though? Talking about like technology in the future as well. If anyone watches Black Mirror, I saw this thing. Charlie Brooker, isn't it, who writes it? And the reason why there was such a delay with the current series and the new one coming up is that he said he got freaked out because everything he kept writing about kept happening. And he said it stopped becoming parody and started becoming reality, and it really freaked him out. So it's literally like everything that he predicted in Black Mirror is coming true. And one of them was the character which basically ended up being Donald Trump, which was the AI,
Waldo.
The cat Waldo, the Waldo thing. And he basically ended up being Donald Trump, didn't he? So it was like, there's too many things that happen in that show that end up happening. It's like The Simpsons, but like, the crystal meth version.
A bit darker. So, the Prime Minister and the pig, was that before the actual Prime Minister and the pig?
Yeah. That was it. It was actually that one that he was referring to when he said, I thought that was the one that would never actually come true, but it has.
Well, you know nothing about Tories and how deviant they are. Anyone probably could have called that thinking about it. Let's pick up the mood. Sam's asked, what's the best old school sweet shop sweet? Flying sauces for me.
Cola cubes.
Oh,
Cola cubes.
That's a shout.
Yeah, Cola cubes. I'd have to say. Do you know what I used to love from Woolworths? Like, I used to get them all the time. It's not necessarily as sweet, but like, I'm gonna rewrite the rules here. This is a sweet. Turkish delight. I'm not talking about the bars you used to get, like fries, that are still around now. They're like, I can't remember the name of the company, but they were like in a blue wrapper, and they they were just they were brilliant. Like, I can't remember the name of the company. It's gonna drive me mad. I'm gonna Google it later. But I just used to get a bag of them in Woolworths all the time. Them or fizzy cola bottles, but I think cola cubes are just the one.
I'm just looking up Woolworths Turkish Delight here. I'm not getting it.
I'm gonna head to Google.
That's
Isn't that in Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe? Isn't it? That's what the kid had. The Turkish Delight, yeah. And they looked amazing in the film. Like coated in sugar. Great.
I got to Facebook because where else are you going to find this information? And someone said, so Woolworths used to sell individually wrapped Turkish Delight in their pick and mix, not the chocolate covered ones. It was mainly white with purple pink wrapper, and they were rose flavour, possibly rose and lemon cuboid. Hey, the ones.
Oh, I found them. It was them.
Order some now.
Needler's Turkish Delight.
Okay.
Them.
Oh.
Okay, yeah.
They were absolutely brilliant, and they're out of stock, and I'm absolutely gutted. It's ruined my day already.
This is like when Dave realised that Aussie Whites had been discontinued, and he spent like 6 months buying a bottle.
He did get a bottle though, didn't he?
He got about 5 in the end.
Yeah. We
didn't see him for a week.
Did anyone's nan used to have chocolate limes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man,
they were all right actually. Them they were actually weirdly okay. Them.
I know they were all right till they got to the chocolate.
It was a very strange sensation, wasn't it? You'd have the chocolate, then you'd have like lime. You're like, oh god, but then you just have the lime. You're like, oh, sound nice. See, also lemon sherbets, very underrated sweet.
Yeah, good, nice bit of tang on them. But yeah, I think it's flying saucers for me. Oh, pink shrimps were always good as well.
Pink shrimps, yeah. Fan of a pink shrimp. What are those like? You like when you used to get like a chocolate, like what do you call dib dabs? Like the little like nuts, like they were like little nuggets, like little chocolates and nougat and like nuts and like little tiny.
Dib dab.
Yeah, is that what they're called? Yeah.
Yeah.
Love them.
They were sound.
Gives a quarter of them, lad.
A quarter. I remember when penny sweets, bloody hell. Hold on a minute. Penny sweets used to be half a penny because I'm that old. And then when the half pennies got discontinued, you could get 2 for a penny.
Did you have one of those shops that didn't used to count all your sweets and they used to just trust that you'd be like that you'd be honourable with your and you'd be like you'd end up you get a big sack full of sweets and be like, there is 20p in there, lad.
I tell you what though, pick and mix now with the pictures. How ridiculously expensive is that?
Oh mate. Horrific, isn't it? Really bad.
No need at all. Keeping on the food theme, Keith asked, what's your favourite jam?
How do you say anything other than raspberry?
Raspberry's a good shout.
Raspberry jam. Not even strawberry, raspberry jam. Absolutely.
Yeah. I think you're right there.
Yeah. I agree with that.
Yeah. Good answers from Chris, though. Jamiroquai. And Donald said space, obviously. What a shout. Chris has asked, have you ever bought anything in Lush?
Yeah.
The kids came back with an array of bath bombs yesterday, and my head is all over the place with the scents. I get a headache just walking into that gaff.
Oh, Lush. Oh, God.
Yeah.
I think like Kath gets like bath bombs from there. No, my sister-in-law's like madly obsessed with Lush as well. I got like a facial cream from there once, like, but it was just like weird texture. The smell was a bit like, wasn't like properly fragrant. It wasn't nice, but then you put it on your face, it was absolutely sensational. So, can't knock it. Bath bombs.
You can't beat the smell of a good face cream, can you?
No. Like, I'm just trying to think of bath bombs. I did see
kids get bath bombs every Christmas. That's always a good one.
I did. It might actually be Lush promoting it. There's like a black and white big bath bomb, which essentially looks like a big Everton mint. You just lash it. I mean, the idea of like a black and white bath bomb for me, it's not going to look very nice in your bath, but like they're massively selling them at the minute. So yeah.
Pete,
So look, by the way, the correct answer for the best jam is Maya Jama. But back to so Lush. Lush. I've never been there. Never stepped foot in the gaff. I'm assuming, is it like the Body Shop? Was that what it used to be called? No,
it's like the Body Shop.
But like the smell when you walk in, it honestly blows your head off.
I used to love that though. That's why I used to go in the Body Shop. I'd never actually buy anything. I'd just go into just to smell stuff because it was just really nice. But Lush, yeah. I mean, the only time I've ever really thought about Lush was when those people were breaking into it to when they were rioting and they were breaking into Lush and breaking into Greg's. So it's I've not really given it much thought, to be honest with you. But I am partial to a bath bomb, so yeah, I might have to venture in there at some point. Preferably not around Christmas or riot times.
Yeah, if you love a bath bomb, you got to. I tell you what, though, saying that is a snapshot of 2024 Britain, isn't it? Breaking into Greg's and Lush. Christ.
Same fella in the most obvious shirt ever. But wasn't exactly inconspicuous, was he? Tit.
Another one from Chris. This time on soft furnishings. How many cushions on a sofa is too many? He says one, completely unnecessary soft furnishing. And TWS replied to this because I think he had a little bit of a family incident after asking a question on the number of cushions you should have on the couch. So,
I remember this.
I'll just ask. I hope everything's still okay at home. I reckon one cushion's all right, just to put behind your back to prop you up a little bit if your couch sinks in a bit. But when you have like 2, 3, nah.
Can I just say, was this the incident with IKEA where we we absolutely destroyed the color coordination of the couch? Yeah, I'm so sorry about that. We were looking out for your best interests. But my brother would say one cushion is too many because he hates them, but his wife Marta loves them. So when you go into his house now, there's cushions everywhere. Cushions on beds as well. I can understand them on couches, but you know, like the way on a bed you've got your pillows. I don't understand why people then cover your bed in cushions, which then get lashed on the floor anyway. That's the bit that I don't get. Yeah, couches yeah.
I'd say on our couch we've got like 2 cushions on our couch, but like the way my wife and I sit on the couch, it's like 1 cushion each, really. So like, I mean, at the moment, because like she's just giving birth, she's got like 1 behind the back and 1 behind the neck, just like keep comfy. So I'd say no more than 1. No more than 1.
So you're cushionless now?
I am cushionless. I don't have any cushions at the moment. I'm very nice like that. I just give them to my beloveds.
So do you think a third one would come in handy right about now?
I think it'd upset the dynamic of the furniture arrangements in the house. I think if you threw a third one in the mix, it'd just be like literally not one out. These are crowds. Yeah.
And also, it's showing you generosity as well. You're giving up all the cushions. If there's another one there, it's more of an empty gesture, isn't it? But you know, just show you how you are.
Genius. Play the long game.
Always.
Slightly. Oh, look! I forgot the ticker there. There you go. How many cushions? There's the question. And on a slightly more somber note, Chris has also asked. Actually, Chris, I'll ask you: is everything okay at home with you, mate? Because these are 2 run of questions. The third one is: who is your favourite war criminal?
Wow.
I mean, we can use favourite in a very sort of loose term of favourite here, so you don't actually have to like them. Just do you think, Christ, that was some war criminal? That. It's got to be one of your top Nazis, hasn't it?
Wow.
Again, lots of different ways to answer this. I'm going to try and keep this as like PC and as acceptable as I possibly can when answering the question about my favourite war criminal. I'd say the damn saying purely because of South Park the movie.
Yeah.
And if you believe the Daily Mail, I don't. But if you do, then I'd say Jeremy Corbyn.
Yeah.
My least favourite
the biggest war criminal we never had.
Yeah, but my least favourite war criminal is always will be Ronald Koeman for what he did at Everton.
Yeah, him or Rafael Benitez is up there with the worst. The Nazi Party, isn't he?
Absolutely.
In more ways than one, Rafael Benitez is the Hermann Goering of football.
He's got a lot to answer for, that man. Get him in the Hague.
Yeah, I'm liking this little feature, like former Everton managers as top Nazis. You know this.
Do you know what? That could be next week's hot topic. Which former Everton managers?
Well, I'm looking forward to getting cancelled when we do that one.
I mean, Roberto Martinez would have to be Albert Speer, wouldn't he? Like, Albert Speer is considered like the nice Nazi kind of thing, if such a thing exists. He basically just did all the designs for like the big Nazi metropolis, and I think he designed, you know, all the I'm showing I know a little bit too much about Nazis here. Do you know the all like the big rallies they used to have? They look quite cinematic with all the, like, massive flags and spotlights. That was him. And the theory's always been that he just sort of one of those, just got sort of taken along a little bit, but never quite believed in it all. And I think he may have got away with it to a degree. Obviously a bastard, but yeah, that's Roberto Martinez for me.
Well, yeah, I think my favourite one would be Neil Maupay, because as much of an absolute prick he is, I've got to admire the shithousery. I still feel that he could have been something special for Everton if he was on our if we talked to him. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, he also makes the list.
He scores that goal in the derby.
Yeah.
Right. Or even just buries one of them against Fulham. And I think things could have been completely different there.
Yeah.
It could have turned out completely different for all of us. But he never, and he got sent off as well last night.
Did he?
Yeah. Got a yellow card on about 27 minutes and then another one on about 30. How did he get on, by the way? Anyone know?
I think they lost 2-1. I think they lost. I hope they lost.
Oh, no, it's 1-1.
1-1.
Yeah. I tell you what, Paul. We'll ask yours from last week that I never got round to.
Oh.
So we'll
go on.
On this one. After watching Mr. McMahon on Netflix, Vince screwing Brett Jordan, the Montreal screw job, got me thinking, which moments following Everton or away from football have you felt properly screwed over and wronged?
Apart from Everton?
Or including Everton?
Can be Everton, can be away from Everton.
Just on the Montreal screw job, though, that was something else, that wasn't it? Like, if you watch the footage of that, it's incredible.
Oh, I watched this the other day. But I thought that was really interesting because I'd never really understood how wrestling worked in terms of, I always thought it was completely scripted. I hadn't realised that there was sort of like they went into that particular one and they didn't, although they knew what the outcome was that they wanted. Was it Shawn Michaels or someone? Who was it?
Shawn Michaels.
And he basically, and he basically refused to give up his belt, hadn't he? Because he was leaving. And then he basically got screwed over. But I remember seeing that when I was a kid, and I thought it was all acting. But seeing that documentary and realising that when he spits at Vince McMahon, he meant it. It was mad. And then the thing with, Vince McMahon having his black eye, that was incredible, that. Because I just assumed that it was all scripted, but clearly not.
It's they always say like the performance itself and the finishes are predetermined, but everything else in between, it's like legitimate, like the way they perform and that. But that documentary was just so fascinating seeing. It was just like mind blowing. How like I understood, like he didn't want to give it up, didn't want to give the belt up, but like there's a ways and means of going about it. But it just showed you like how business minded he was. He was like prepared to do that. But he made money off it. Like, brilliant businessman, just a horrific person.
terrible fella. I think. Do you know the first thing that sprung to mind with this was the Graham Pole derby?
God,
I mean, we've been wrong a lot of times against the Reds, like more than we can remember. But I think that one was because that's the sort of way that they would win a derby.
Yeah,
something stupid like that, complete self-sabotage by us, and we did it. But no, you can't have that. That's just like, I don't think I'll ever get over that.
No, he came out in his book later on, didn't he? And said it was his biggest mistake in his career. He said he actually admitted he got it wrong. Obviously, Clattenburg's up there as well. Clattenburg, that was the most horrific and most obviously openly biased refereeing performance I've ever seen in my life. And then Kalina, obviously, the scumbag.
That's my one.
Yeah.
Oh God, yeah. I think, did you post that the other day, Pete, or someone did? Posted it again.
To be honest, I normally, if I ever see any post about Kalina being a good referee, I just pounce on it. It's like a little alarm bell goes off in my head, like the bat signal goes up, the twat signal goes up, and then I'm like, right, let's go. I've got to nail him. So it's like, it's possible, Les.
I tell you what though, when you watch it back, I mean, I know everyone has a go at Duncan Ferguson for being a hothead, but quite how he never chinned Kalina in that little exchange.
He was so calm, wasn't he?
Oh God, yeah. Because that moment for Ferguson and all of us was like, this is it. We would have won that game. I've no doubt we would have won that game from there, because the arse would have fell out of them. But yeah, to keep his head when he's getting like spoken to by Kalina like that.
When he did all that.
It's the way.
Yeah.
But it's the way Kalina retired. He came out of retirement for like they made a big deal about him retiring, and then all of a sudden it was announced that he was coming out of retirement, and they'd announced him for he was going to do another season. So he comes out of retirement, does our game, does that to us, and then retires straight after. And it was just the most obvious, most blatant, and especially because they'd already said that they tried to get the FA to basically withdraw us from nomination to put Liverpool in because they'd won it. And they had to change the rules to make sure that Liverpool could defend the title. So they didn't want 5 English teams. It was obvious they just didn't want 5 English teams in. And I'm not one to go for pure conspiracy theories, but that was as obvious and as blatant as you could make it. And the thing about it was they needed a referee that no one would question. And obviously he was the one. But the fact that he retired straight after, what scumbag.
Yeah, well, the fact that we got like the 4th best team in Spain, which is unusual for an English club to get such a bad draw. They got the semi-finals that year as well, didn't they?
Yeah.
So
meanwhile, Liverpool like TNS.
Yeah, they did, didn't they?
Yeah, of course they did.
Yeah, I think that's got to be the definitive answer to that question, hasn't it?
Yeah,
on just every level. Right, we will leave it there on that bombshell, lads. Enjoyed that. A nice way to start Saturday morning. If you're watching this on the Saturday, we've got Newcastle later on. So hopefully Saturday will continue in as joyous a vein as that's been. Cheers, Paul. Cheers, Pete. Thanks to everyone who sent questions in. We will catch you next time on Mailbag.